Hey guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap up. So we will go straight over to those charts. So yeah, as you can see, we popped out that trend line this morning. Obviously we've come back down a bit now. But are we potentially going to test basically the top side of this trend line, and then maybe this area around here, this sort of support confluence area we've got, before we then make a pop up? We'll kind of have to see. I think a lot of it will depend on how the US stock futures open, which I believe open in about 40 minutes. So yeah, that should give us a bit of direction. If they absolutely get whacked at the open, then I think that'll probably pull Bitcoin down a bit. But there is, and everybody is aware of it. There is a 3 a.m. American time buyer in the futures. The E-mini contracts that comes in are basically 3 a.m. I think that's the Eastern time in America, and buys the futures up. So if you get a sell-off based on stock futures down, we've got the PPT coming in early in the morning on low volume, goosing the market up. It's just we don't have any free markets at the moment, and that is obviously one of them. But yeah, so what I'm saying is we could open lower, could have a bit of a spike, a bit of downward pressure, and then as they pump the stock markets, we could then reverse around in Bitcoin. We are pretty correlated with the directions of the moves in the stock market and Bitcoin. So that's definitely something we need to keep our eye on. So yeah, I mean, what are we looking at here? I mean, we are looking weak. We only really wicked like very temporarily into this plus 9,400 zone, and Bitcoin wasn't having any of it really. And we're now basically back about 9,300. So all I will say is that we do have this support zone, and we're not really getting down to it. Even these wicks here, we're not getting down to 9,200 basically. Obviously minus this one here. But yeah, other than that, we are struggling to get down to this level, let alone break it. So, and we are testing the top half and in the top half of this zone. So maybe we are going to get one more wick down, and then just a big candle short squeeze pump up possibility. I mean, but like I said, I think it depend on the direction we get from the stock markets. If stock markets have the sort of move like they had on Friday into the futures open and then into the actual open and then tomorrow, then yeah, I think we're going to get about, I think Bitcoin by the end of this week will be around 7k. So some sobering thoughts there for the bulls. I'm looking at getting into certain altcoins, starting to build a position, but I really can't. There's no point in me doing that until I know the direction of this market. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna wait for the direction of the market really. God, I was just really tired today, guys. Sorry about the yawning. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, not much else to say, nothing else to say that I didn't cover in this morning's video, because nothing has happened since. It is a case of when we're going to get that expansion in volatility, what direction that is going to be and break us into. Overall, larger term time frames, you guys know, I think it leans to the bullish side, although it leans to the bearish side when we are at the levels. When we are closer to the levels, that will confirm the bearish move. So whilst this formation is more likely to break out the top, they never break out the top until they get to the top. They've got to trade here before they can break above there. So if it's got to trade here before it can break down, and it already is here, then I mean, you can do the maths on that one. So yeah, but basically we're going to have a massive week. I mean, just look at these stock markets last week. This is a 4-hour chart. I mean, these got whacked basically, and then look, last time we had a move down like this, we accelerated, and even this move has started off quicker than this one did, and then we accelerated into it. So if we basically accelerate into this move here, we're going to be at the 0.5 fib basically next week. And if we end up down here, then Bitcoin is going to end up in a relatively down there position as well. But I do think the most likely scenario for stock markets is that we potentially form, this is what I think will basically happen, that we end up forming some sort of pennant formation like this. And what will happen then is I think we'll then break up out of it. So maybe we're going to get a couple of days around here. Where's this trend line coming from? I think this is just because this should be like this, shouldn't it? But because I had drawing tools off, I've just been fiddling around with stuff. In fact, actually, look at that horizontal, lines up perfectly. I didn't draw this on because of that. This was obviously on our chart before. If I undo it, I should probably be able to show you that it was there. Well, it was there. Obviously, I'd moved it previous to that. Let's get back out of USO. Yeah, I mean, this was the horizontal that was lining up with these tops over here. So yeah, it is interesting that we have basically come down exactly to that line. And let me just draw this pennant back on that I'm looking at as well. This is what I think is going to happen. I think the stock market's going to form this pennant, and then I think they are then going to break upwards out of the pennant. That's my best guess, and that guess is not based on anything. Well, I say fundamental, not based on anything fundamental. The Fed buying S&P futures and moving into just buying corporate junk debt, basically, at individual companies, is just going to prop the stock market up pretty convincingly. And I feel like there's zero chance they're going to let this stock market go down before the elections. So that just tells me we're going to break up. So yeah, we're going to get a bit of consolidation in this zone, and then pop out the top. So yeah, we've got a little bit further down to go, but I don't think we can go much further, and then we'll just play out the end of here. So going back over to Bitcoin, what am I doing? Going back over to Bitcoin, I believe we will then obviously play out a bit of consolidation around this zone, maybe a few wicks down as the stock markets go down. What I did notice in the down move in the stock markets on Friday, Bitcoin did hold up relatively well. So maybe we're just going to get a bit of weakness, a few wicks, and then once the stock market starts to look stronger, we'll start to make a move back up. So yeah, over to the oscillators. 4 hours just turned over. You can see here turning over. So we do need to make a move up in the price action to keep that up. 12 hour you can see as well, it's curled over. So the next ticks on this will be down if price is lower than where we are now, and daily is obviously still going to be ticking down. So these oscillators are definitely not looking good for us. Not looking good. I mean, once the 4 hour starts turning down, we've got the 4 hour, the 12 hour, and the daily, which are the main ones I look at, and obviously the 8 hour is going to be, well, yeah, that's the 8 hour for you. So these oscillators are not going to look good at all. So, does that mean too much though? Whilst we are expecting a 1 to 2k move, does it really matter where the price rests before we actually make that move? Is not as important. What will matter is the direction we start going in once we start to like pick up steam and that volume starts to move in. So you don't necessarily want to be sorry guys, you don't want to be looking at these smaller time frame just sort of patterns and levels so much to think that that's gonna tell us where the big massive move is going to come in, because that big massive move in volume can come in any direction. So that's all I will say about that. But nonetheless, these oscillators are looking weak, and if the bears don't take this opportunity to dump us out of here, and then we start to move back above 9,500 and play this zone out, then I mean that looks incredibly bullish on the basis we confirm this touch as a low and we're going back up to the top. We're trending back to the top, and then also the bears just couldn't take their chance. Bears basically couldn't take their opportunity to take us down when it's literally there on a plate for them right now. So It will be interesting to see. Like I said, if we break up from here, I literally won't be surprised. If we break down from here, I literally won't be surprised either. It's just in the balance. It's just a case of waiting to see which way we go. And like I keep saying, I've been saying for a few weeks now, I think our move will be will basically depend on what the stock market does. And I do think the stock market is most likely, due to what is going on, to go up. In fact, if you see here, look, the 200 daily is also around this area here, so I wouldn't necessarily want us to be testing the 200 daily, because then we're going to start to look like we're potentially going to form a descending triangle. We want to get support before that, but we'll see what happens, guys. We'll have to see what happens. So apologies, but apologies for the yawning, guys. I don't know what's got over me. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for listening. Remember that I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. But yeah, big week ahead of us. Big week. I just cannot see us not breaking out next week of this range, and been either by the end of the week been 2k higher or 2k lower. I can't see it. Yeah, we've got that volatility to look forward to. I mean, it may even happen overnight, before I see in the morning. So in fact, stock futures have just opened now, obviously, so I was wrong. It was 10 minutes, not 40 minutes, and we have gapped lower, about 20 points lower. So we are going to have a move down in Bitcoin now, almost definitely. We were probably going to test now. We're probably going to test, unless these futures get bought up straight away. We are basically about to test 9,200. So I'm pretty much certain of that. But yeah, but though these futures can gap down and open up. I see it all the time. These futures get bought up overnight. I mean, it's not just me, just other market participants are noticing and talking about it, about the big 3 a.m. S&P buyer. So yeah, I mean, they do look like we're already going to fill the gap now anyway. So maybe it won't be so bad. I think this one. This is not. Let's just get onto the. This may have a delay. Has it got a delay? Yeah, this one isn't. Oh yeah, sorry. So this one is trading now then. So yeah, this is basically the price we're at now down here. So we have opened lower. So yeah, that's it really. That's all I've really got to tell you guys. So yeah, again, last time, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I always do your own research, and I will catch you guys in the morning.